Time to relax, folks. Get yourself a cup of tea. In fact, actually get yourself a cup of coffee just to keep yourself a little bit more awake, because I'm about to talk to you about accounting software and how far it can take you in your business, and also a little bit about the history of accounting software here in Oz. So let's go all the way back to the mid-90s, shall we? So mid-90s, what did we have? We had a heap of DOS-based software. That was about it out there on the marketplace. You needed a real Boffin or a Poindexter to run it. That DOS-based software in the mid-90s for accounting was terrible stuff, hard to use, but then things started to change. So the price of PCs started to really drop, and Windows came out through Microsoft to compete with the Macs, and suddenly, we had an environment where you could put in accounting software and it looked okay, people could use it, and was really started to become useful for small business. So what happened? In the mid-90s, MYOB was this tiny little company up in America doing some really good stuff with Windows and accounting software. So a couple of the lads from Australia went over there. One of the local Blackburn boys, Craig Winkler, very smart cookie, good on the IT side, and another fella from Sydney, Brad Schofer. They got together, looked at this MYOB accounting software and thought, this is pretty good stuff, let's go and have a look at it. So they went off to North America, to the US, found this software and thought, this is a game changer. They brought it back to Australia, put it into all these PCs coming out with Windows on it, and it was an absolute winner. And it really won the market here in Australia for that accounting software. The boys did it so well that they ended up buying the company, and it grew it into a public company. And a lot of you who are into accounting software would know that made it really big here in Australia. So they saw that these Windows PCs could cope with accounting software. They found the software, brought it back, and did it really well. So that trundled along for many years, and they mainly competed against QuickBooks, which was another piece of software, and us tax accountants loved those pieces of software, especially when you had bookkeepers out there and people learning them, because they were balancing all the accounts, and information was coming into us as tax accountants, so we could deal with it really well. That was all fine for many years, but a few years ago the cloud-based software started to emerge its head, and Craig Winkler, who was the CEO of MYOB at the time, he was really looking with his cronies there at MYOB to try to get into the cloud area. He was being restricted a lot by the directors of MYOB at the time, and very roughly, this is all public knowledge, Craig got out. He took millions of dollars and he stuck it straight into Xero, that New Zealand software, which has been another big game changer. So again, Craig, really smart guy, what he thought was, he knew cloud-based software was the go. Xero was doing it, MYOB was completely holding him back at that stage, got out, put it into the Xero, and it has skyrocketed. Why? Xero has nailed a couple of things for bookkeepers and accountants. Number one, Xero has one version. So for us as accountants, the old MYOB used to have version 1, 2, 3, 4, and on it went. These days, Xero has one platform and that's it. So us as accountants are using exactly the same as you, the clients. The other thing is we can get into the software in live time. So we can get straight into that software, make changes, and you as clients know what's going on. And they're the two big game changers for us as tax accountants with something like Xero. So who's competing out there on the market? Let's give a fair opinion on what's out there on the market. The original QuickBooks is now owned by Reckon, and Reckon's reasonable for a decent sized business. It's lost that really small business market, but for bookkeepers and business owners who are used to Reckon, it's still good software and it works reasonably in the cloud. QuickBooks Online, so QuickBooks Online is now an American piece of software. It's a good, slick piece of software, not overly expensive, but there's not many contract bookkeepers out there who understand and know QuickBooks Online. So it's getting advertised a lot. It's big all around the world. I think it's owned by the Americans. They're trying to take it to the world. The difficulty in Australia is, as I said, not a lot of contract bookkeepers know it. So when you go out there as a business owner and you look for help, or you're looking for another contract bookkeeper, there's not many of them around. MYOB has fought back pretty hard in the online market. They've got MYOB Essentials, which is a reasonable bit of software, can do quite a few things, and it's totally cloud-based and it's reasonable. There are other products which were born out of their growth through the 2000s is Account Right. And Account Right's very good too, and there's a lot of contract bookkeepers who know it. Problem is, it still has different versions, and for us as accountants it does with our head, because when me as a tax accountant picks up an Account Right file, it's not completely 100% one platform in the cloud and everyone's the same on it. There's different versions, etc., and different security, etc. Just makes it that little bit harder. So Xero seems to have won the argument. There's a lot more bookkeepers out there who understand Xero. As I said, it's on one platform. They've put a huge amount of money into Xero to run it. But basically those four pieces of software, and Sasu to a lesser extent, which is more of a, again, very cloud-based software, but less bookkeepers know it. You've got to choose for one of those for your business. But these accounting pieces of software, they can take a business from $75,000 to $100,000 turnover, way up to about 25 million in turnover. That's how good these pieces of software are. That's how well they work with us, tax accountants. They are absolutely fantastic. So have a think about, that's a bit of the history of software. We tend to recommend Xero, but at the same time at Paris Financial we'll accept accounting software, absolutely. MYOB, heap of clients on MYOB. QuickBooks Online, that's fine as well. Sasu is fine too. I'll come back in another video soon and tell you about how industry software works with this off-the-shelf type accounting software and how they interrelate well up to about a $25 to $30 million turnover business. So there you go, folks. There's the history of software here in Australia. Xero's winning the fight. MYOB are trying their darndest, and there's a couple of others there. Reckon, QuickBooks Online, and Sasu are in the market as well. There's a few others on the periphery. The difficulty is our favourite people with financial information, the contract bookkeepers. There's not many who know them. There you go. Hopefully that helps you choose your software. Bye-bye.